Week 5, almost in the books, man, and storylines and teams and everything. It seems like everything's getting sorted. We're going to go through it all, the entire NFL. How's your team doing? Let's get going. Let's get all ready to go as we get you juiced up here on the Morning Juice. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into the Morning Juice, man. My name is Keith Brugman. Got my good friend, my good pal, Kenny Kirkpatrick. We're wiping the sleep out of our eyes, man. I tell you what, through all the NFL, all the games, man, the excitement was high. The rest was good, but we're here to talk about the NFL. Kenny, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I hope my internet's not having those same problems. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I think we're good, but I'm doing okay. Could have been better on the other side of the ball. Giants fan, not the greatest of outcomes yesterday. Baseball side, Yankee fan, not the best sides, but what better way than to get started on a Monday after a bad day of sports for my teams than to be with everybody here, including you, Keith, Morning Juice. And you know how I do it one way only, and that's by saluting everybody with a little juice. And today's juice is an October, nice crisp October apple cranberry mixture.
Ooh,
so let's
man.
go with and we do it one way. Juice it up, everybody. Enjoy. Let's get the morning started.
Apple cranberry, man. I'll give you the apple on that one, man. It's fall season, and if there's something about apples and fall and apple cider, and man, give you that one, man. That's a good call out, man. Got to go with my old trusty Lion coffee, man.
Yep.
Can't get away from it, man. If you're a coffee lover, lioncoffee.com, check them out as well, man. But fantastic week of football, at least for me, Kenny. I know we need to make sure that we're on track. We both have a winning game as we come in here at some point, so that we can both be super excited about what's happening for our teams. I'll start off with mine, though, man. A few of these games, man, I think that happened throughout the NFL this week, where there are some stunners, some surprises, and I don't think anybody nationally really gave the Broncos their due as they were heading into Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Broncos seemed like they're still an up-and-coming team, and the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-0 seemed like they were steamrolling regardless of how they had to get it done. But the Broncos got the better of them. Maybe not the cleanest game on either side, but the Broncos got the better of them. And, hey, 3-2, take down the Super Bowl champs, man. I couldn't be happier here on a Monday morning.
Yeah, you guys, Bronco fans should be very happy. You knocked down the Super Bowl champs, and the comeback is what really stood out to me. Second half adjustments. That's where that's where the coaches make their money. Halftime adjustments. And in my opinion, I said this yesterday, Keith, on the Denver Bronco Roundup post-game reaction show. I think this was Sean Payton's best job so far as a Broncos coach. Best game he coached. You know, first half you would say no way, but that second half made up for it. And that 2-point conversion was gutsy, and it worked. And hats off to him, and hats off to the Broncos moving forward. This is very exciting to be a Bronco fan, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, not the cleanest game. Wouldn't call it perfection by any stretch of the imagination, but these are the type of games that you need to have. My key word as we came away with that victory was resilience. The resilience to be down, the resilience to come back. Just the fact that, winning a game like that against a great opponent, that makes it so much easier as you go down the path later in this season and hopefully start racking up some wins against some good teams as you head on to the playoffs. Kenny, I'll go ahead and I'll step back from my victory. We can talk a little bit about your team here for a second as well, because I'll be honest, man. I was watching from afar. I was watching the bottom line score. I thought the Giants were on their way to a Jackson Dart era kind of early, as he was kind of dealing and had them up early down in New Orleans. So talk about it. What happened to your Giants in this game, and what do you feel about the Giants kind of moving forward too, man?
We talked about it with Sean Payton making adjustments. I think the Saints made adjustments, but first two drives, the Giants come down and score, and we got a 14-6 lead. And after the two drives, it went downhill from there. Excited about Jackson Dart. You're going to have growing pains. Cam Scatterboo, excited about him. You're going to have growing pains. Don't go by what the stat line says. Jackson Dart, 2 interceptions. One of them was him trying to make a play on 4th and 15, and he just threw it up for grabs. So take that away. Cam Scatterboo, Demario Davis made a heck of a play for him to fumble. The problem I had yesterday is Malik Neighbors is out. Wide receivers are not stepping up. Nobody has stepped up. Darius Slayton dropped a 50-yard, not going to say dime or dart, but a catchable ball. He drops. Also, right after that, a couple plays later, he fumbles the ball on a first down. Giants were moving the ball nicely, just down 2 points at the time. Growing pains on offense. The problem I had yesterday was this front four is supposed to be our bread and butter. We saw it against the Chargers. They did not show up yesterday. Brian Burns got a little close on a couple plays. Kayvon Thibodeau was non-existent. Dexter Lawrence was non-existent. You didn't hear them mention Abdul Carter's name all game. And that's where the problem was, because if that's where you're going to rely on defense and those 4 don't show up, it's going to be a long day for the Giants. And it turned out to be a long day after that 14 points. It turned out to be a long day the rest of the way. But growing pains, I have no problem. Jackson Dart, he's very exciting. Good feet, speed. Cam Scatterboo. Demario Davis made a great play on him. He came right back. Scatterboo, he had over 100 yards, scrimmage yards. I'm okay with those two. The veterans need to step up and move on going forward, because we got a big one against the Eagles this week, Thursday night.
Oh, and they're probably going to be wanting to get a win back after losing to my Broncos now. Mm-hmm. Got them all fired up for you. You guys will have to get fired up. I did see the one highlight of Cam Scatterboo after his fumble. He's over on, I don't know if you saw it, over on the bench. Can I get some new gloves? I get some new gloves? Got some new gloves, went out there. Hopefully that doesn't become an issue for him. I know that he was picked on a little bit in the pre-draft process about the fumbling. So get the one out of the way, right? Get the one out of the way. Put the rest in the safe for the rest of for another day. Hopefully never to come out. Got our good friend and sponsor Pearl coming in saying, "Hey, I just finished feeding the corgis." Getting ahead on my comments and saying it's coffee time, and she's still fired up about them Denver Broncos. Well, since you jumped in here just a little bit later, let's talk a little bit more about those Broncos, because it was, I'll just rewind for a second. We got a couple of good friends. We got Ernie Mays coming in here and saying, go Broncos country only. As we got started, I kind of dismissed my Denver Broncos win very quickly. I'm even looking at the time, and it's like, we're only 9 minutes in, Keith. Jeez, I've already dismissed my Broncos win and went on to the Giants. But no, it was just a hard fought win. You guys had people like Cortland Sutton that came up huge in this game. You talked about it. Sean Payton's probably one of his best games. Statement win. The best games as a Denver Bronco coach in this team. Just the resilience that they needed. Went back to the run game late. The gutsy call to go for it for a 2-point conversion. I liked it. I know I was watching Good Morning Football. They're like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. You got 7 minutes. Worst case scenario, you're down by 1. Your defense has been playing good. Hopefully you can get the ball back, kick a field goal, be up by 2 still. I still love the call. I thought it put pressure on the Eagles. Like I said, probably with one of the worst refed games I've watched from a Denver Broncos perspective, and quite honestly from a Philadelphia Eagle perspective. Just not a great ref game, but hey, those games are going to come. The Denver Broncos did what they need to do. They hang a victory on the board, and I'm telling you what, now all of a sudden that AFC West looks a little bit different. Just looks a little bit different.
And with me, Keith, I disagree with Good Morning Football. I love it. Peyton put the pressure on the defense to either hold the Broncos because we're down 1, or hold the Eagles because we're down 1, or hold the Eagles because we're up 1. And they got the 2-point conversion. Defense came through. You're on the road. I love the call. Love the call. And even if it didn't work, I would still love the call because you still got a lot of time on the clock to get the ball back and come back and get a field goal. And he showed confidence on both sides of the ball doing that play there. 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it speaks something about your team. They say it all the time. Hey, went for it on 4th down, in their own, on their own end of the field. Man, this shows a lot. What the coach feels about his offense, his quarterback, his running back, whatever it happens to be, as well as the defense. And I like what Pearl has to say about the game as well, that it felt like it was 2 games to her, the first half and then the second half. And hats off not only to the offense and Sean Payton, but, think about what Vance Joseph did to this Super Bowl winning juggernaut in the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, really was able to shut them down for all intents and purposes. And our good friend, everybody's friend, right? Mr. Michael Ronquillo. Good morning, Keith and Kenny on the Morning Juice. Go Pope Broncos. Got the blue and orange hearts. Mile high salute. We'll give you that mile high salute here over on the Morning Juice. No, I'm excited for my Denver Broncos. And now Kenny, he said, I want something right after we end up talking about our Broncos and our Giants. He's like, Keith, put it in your morning brain to remember this is the spot, I believe, right here, Kenny, right?
Okay, well, I got 2. So let's do the first one and then the second one. But the first one I have is I want to rank the AFC teams now. Top 5 teams in the AFC. We'll just do the AFC because we're talking about the Broncos. So let's just do the AFC this week. Maybe next week we'll throw the NFC in there. But I'll start, Keith, and audience play along, posse play along. My number 5 in the AFC, it's tough. I have a couple teams. I'm still going to go with the LA Chargers at number 5. Off to that 3-0 start. Could have been arguably number 1. Fell to the Giants. They're down there around the 3 range and fall yesterday to the Commanders. They're barely hanging on to that 5 spot, but I still think they get some of their players back. They're going to be back into that top 5. But right now, they're barely hanging on that 5 spot. The Lightning is coming to strike them because they're ready to fall off that pedestal of top 5 if they lose again next week.
Whew. Man, yeah, you sprung this on me, so I'm looking over the teams. Oh, yeah. I'll probably agree with you. I mean,
only because
there are some. You know what? I'll go a different route. I'll go number 5. I'll go the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, fair.
3-1 team. Surprising the heck out of me. I think they have a chance, man, to really, maybe rack up a couple more wins. If we're talking about a 5-1 team and we didn't put them in the top 5, I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars, man. I'll go Jacksonville Jaguars number 5.
I like that. I didn't do just for me and the way I ranked them. I didn't do the Chiefs and Jaguars respectfully because they didn't play yet this week. After tonight, one of those 2 may take over the Chargers for sure. Also threw the Chargers in there because they're 3-0 in the AFC West. So that to me, they hung on to the 5 spot. Want me to keep going, Keith, or you want to go? All right. Number 4 for me is a team in the AFC North. When we talked AFC North, the Bengals and the Ravens were supposed to be on top of the AFC North, and they're struggling with their quarterbacks both being hurt. The Steelers. The Steelers are finding ways to win. Last week, I watched that game in Ireland, and the week before that, the turnovers. The defense showed up 2 weeks in a row for the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is making enough plays, being more of a game manager, and they're finding ways to win. And they could maybe pull away in this AFC North with the Ravens and Bengals struggling. I'm going to keep the Steelers in the top 5 and at the 4 spot.
Kenny, I'll give you a spoiler here. I'm not going to have an AFC North team in there yet. I don't think they've proven enough. I mean, the Steelers, okay, 3-1, looking better, but a 2-3 Bengals team, a 1-4 Ravens team, a 1-4 Browns. I'm going to leave the AFC North off the list completely. I'm going to go ahead and this is where I'm going to slot the Chargers, man. The Chargers, like you said, just what they've done in the AFC West so far. I know they've slipped a couple of games now in a row. They'll have to bounce back. But I'll go from Jaguars to Chargers being 5-4 on my list. Watch out, though. This list could be tumultuous over the next few weeks, man. So number 4, I'll put the Chargers right there, buddy.
Nice. I see Ernie's got his list. I like Ernie's list. Broncos. He's got Broncos, Bills, Jaguars, Chargers, Steelers. Okay. Yep. That's a good list.
That is a good list. That is a good list.
Number 3 for me, and I said I need to see it. They lost last week, and I said, oh man, they're gonna fall down to earth now. But the Indianapolis Colts, what they did to the Raiders yesterday. And we're going to talk about them a little while longer. In a little while, we'll probably talk about them again in one of our other segments. But Indianapolis Colts are number 3 for me. Arguably could put them up a little higher, but I'm going number 3. They did lose their one big game on the road against a good opponent in the Rams last week, but bounced back nicely, blew out the Raiders. They really play well at home. Daniel Jones is looking really good. Jonathan Taylor looks like an MVP candidate as well. Defense is balling out. Give me the Colts at number 3 with a chance to move up even higher as the weeks progress.
One of us is freezing up, and I think it might be me if I'm looking, buddy.
I hear you. If you hear me, I hear you.
Okay, buddy. I'm just looking at the feed on the side. Pearl's saying she's having some trouble, and I'm freezing. Or you are freezing, she says. But just looking at the feed, it might be me. Why don't you go ahead, or where are we at? Well, you did your number 3. I'm up for number 3, ain't I?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to get this out. Hopefully this is working. Hopefully my internet connection gets a little bit better here in a second. My number 3, this is where I'm going to slate the Denver Broncos. This is, maybe a little bit biased, but I love what they just did, taking down the Philadelphia Eagles, the path that they're on, Sean Payton, the way that he has his team playing. We go over to London, we get that win, and the schedule that we have in front of us, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slate my Denver Broncos, number 3 in the AFC, right here with only a couple spots left. And I think there's a couple of good teams left that I want to put in front.
Michael's saying he can hear from both of us. Thank you, Michael. Number 2, I'm outside perspective, but watching a lot of Bronco games, co-hosting Denver Bronco Roundup. You just went on the road and beat the Super Bowl champs. I'm putting the Broncos at number 2. Because your 2 losses could have easily been wins as well. Broncos did what nobody else so far this year has been able to do, and they did it on the road. Number 2 team moving forward and could get to number 1 before you know it is Keith, Michael, Ernie, Pearls, Denver Broncos. You're hearing it here from me. Very close to being number 1 team in the AFC. Your Denver Broncos.
Jeez. Kenny, I try not to be a homer, and try to be a very, very, just judgmental against my own team and try to rank them properly. Given our Broncos the number 2 spot, man, I love you, man. I love you, man. And I hope that they continue to ascend. I only have them in the 3 spot. And with two teams left to go, man, I go back and forth on this one, man. And I honestly, I don't know which way to go. I'm gonna go the controversial route. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the Buffalo Bills in the number 2 spot right here. You know, lost, took a loss, didn't look all that pretty. I know that they they seem like they have the path right now. The Ravens that have given them issues are struggling. The Chiefs are having to work their way back up. But, they ain't perfect either. They ain't perfect. And I like another team and just the way that they're playing better than the Buffalo Bills. So I'm putting the Buffalo Bills here in the number 2 spot. And we'll see what the number 1 spot has for each one of us. But for me, Buffalo Bills number 2.
And that's my number 1 still. I know they lost yesterday, just like the Eagles lost yesterday. But when you look at it, the Ravens are down, the Texans are down, even though they blew out the Ravens yesterday. The Ravens are down, the Texans are down, the Bengals look like the worst team in the AFC. There's 3 teams right in there. Chargers with their injuries. Broncos are close and can take advantage of these other teams that are struggling with quarterback issues and be a contender for the AFC, not only the AFC, but a Super Bowl contender going forward. So I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills still there right now, but it's closer than you think. They're not way ahead of everybody else. They're that Broncos, Colts, Steelers, Chargers, Chiefs, and Jaguars are close. I'm going to say they're all close.
Pearl's way on board with you, saying 100% Kenny, and Ernie saying I can be a homer, man. I can be a homer all I want, man, because our team is awesome. The team that's awesome to me, I think it's been the shocker. And Kenny is, I don't know if it probably doesn't hurt that much because you got Jackson Dart, but Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, and those Colts, they just went out and they pummeled the Raiders yesterday in a 40-6 beatdown. And now I know it's the Raiders, and we, obviously being a Broncos fan, it's tough to say anything great about the Raiders as it is. But a 40-6 beatdown. I mean, it was an offensive performance. It's a defensive performance. Daniel Jones looks like a whole different quarterback than what I saw in New York or any of his other stops along the way. I mean, this team is really starting to impress me. You got an amazing run game. You got a defense that obviously can step up and keep the Raiders to 6 points. I mean, for me, the number 1 team right now, I'm jumping on the Colts train, I guess, because that's who I have, man. Number 1 team in the AFC right now. Just look out. Just look out, man.
Nothing wrong with that. When you beat teams up like the Raiders, you're showing how good you can, you're not winning games by 3 points. You're beating teams up, and even their loss last week, that was close with the Rams, so they're playing very well. They could be close to undefeated too. Obviously, they beat the Broncos early in the season. They are definitely biggest surprise so far on the good side, I would say, for me. So I have no problem with that ranking from you, Keith. I think next week maybe we could do the NFC instead of bunching it up today.
Yeah.
So I do like the blind. I do like the rankings as the weeks now. We're getting into the middle weeks of the season. The the early part of the heart of teams' schedules, and see which teams trend up and which teams trend down. So I definitely like that. Would you like me to do my not surprise segment, but the one I have for you that we're introducing today for the first time?
If you wish to, let's do that, man, and then we can run through all the rest of the games and just talk a little bit about them. Okay.
I think this is fun to do before we go around the league. I'm looking at the time. We could probably finish this before our halfway mark. So probably in about 5 minutes, we could probably finish this, Keith.
Right on, man. I'm excited.
I watch a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube shows, and around the world, a lot of these shows like to do blind rankings. We never done them, so I said, let me think of one for Keith. Sometimes maybe we'll do something morning breakfast related, but I have a football related one for everybody today. So I want a blind ranking, and I'll use an example of this year's rookie running backs. So for example, and we're not going to use him in the rankings. If I said Ashton Jeanty, Keith may say number 1. And then I got 4 other guys listed after that. And Keith has to fill in 2 through 5 as a blind ranking. So everybody out there, love for you all to play along. So we're not going to use Ashton Jeanty, so he's out of the equation, but that's the example I use. So Keith, the first name on the blind ranking, Cam Skattebo, 1 through 5, rookie running back. Where would you rank him so far this year? I would say we'll play it that way.
Not knowing who comes next, I'm gonna go right down the middle. I'll go number 3 for Cam Skattebo.
Nice. And again, audience, play along if you'd like. Second one I have listed, the Browns running back. That one of the Browns running backs they drafted this year, the Ohio State product, Kayshawn Junkins.
Oh boy, this is these blind rankings.
These are fun.
These are good. I'll go 4. I'll go 4 here and hope that don't shoot myself on the foot. I'm hoping for some better ones, some better names around the corner.
We're gonna go with the other Ohio State product that got drafted in the first round in this year's draft, TreVeyon Henderson, Patriots running back.
Oh boy, 5. I guess I'm gonna go 5. I'm still hoping. Yeah, it's.
You got 1 and 2 left, and Karen saying,
I know.
Oh, hi, Karen.
Good to see you, Karen. Good to see you, Roy.
And Roy also, yeah. Roy. Love it. All right, last 2. Your guy, RJ Harvey.
Oh boy, who am I going to have left at number 1? Because RJ Harvey is going to take my number 2 then.
Number 1 for Keith Brugman is a guy he did not care for in this year's draft, Omarion Hampton, but he's actually having a good year. So I'm going to read Keith's blind 5 here. Keith went with Omarion Hampton, number 1. This is this year's rookie class minus Ashton Jeanty on their performances this year. Omarion Hampton, number 1. RJ Harvey, number 2. Cam Skattebo, 3. Kayshawn Junkins, 4. TreVeyon Henderson, 5. Applaud you, Keith. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Maybe I move Cam to number 2 because of how much he's been in the offense this year, and Harvey down a little bit. Maybe Cam 2, Judkins 3, Harvey, Henderson. But I think Hampton deserves the number 1 spot so far for his production in the Chargers offense. So, I'm okay with your blind rankings there. I think you get a B+.
Well, thank you, man. I didn't do too bad. All said and done, I didn't know how it was going to work out. Rookie running backs was probably not my strong suit here. So, hello to Karen. Hello to Roy. Hello to Michael as well. Obviously in there talking as well.
I could have put your Corey Krosky Merritt in there, Michael. You're right. He has been good. I had to leave some people out, and I left them out. These are just out of these 5 guys. Where would you rank them? Not necessarily that Merritt is probably doing better than half of these guys. I agree, but just the rankings that Keith did, I'll give him a B+. I think you did well.
Very good. This is going to be maybe a good segue. I was looking through just this week of the NFL. And I just want to, this is what really shocked me, Kenny. Leading rushers, top 5 leading rushers in the NFL this week. I'll just do this. Anybody, without cheating, give me a name and see if you can hit a top 5 rusher in the NFL this week so far. Kenny?
I do know one.
Wide open.
Okay. I know one because I watched some highlights.
Fair, yeah, fair.
It was a game that you're not going to really see many. It's not going to be on TV unless you live in these states, and that's our good friend. If you know this song, Rico Suave, Dodley, 206 yards, I believe, rushing.
Rico Dowdle, 206 yards for the Carolina Panthers. He's the number 1 rusher. And so far, we got 1 game left to play in week 5 in the NFL. Do you want to try to keep it going, man?
Yeah, I got to think of a couple more. I got a guess from Roy. That's a good guess. J.K. Dobbins, Keith?
J.K. Dobbins did not make the list. I think he had about 70 yards rushing on the day. All 5 rushers are over 100 yards in week 5 as far as leaders are concerned. So
I'm
J.K. Dobbins.
Sure I know one more. I'm pretty sure I know one more because
Okay,
Michael alluded to his name, and that was the late game on by me. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, the rookie running
correct.
back out of Michael's Arizona Wildcats. 7th-round pick, by the way.
Yeah, and a lot of weight put on him all of a sudden there in Washington. He carried the weight for 111 yards. He's number 4 on this list. This is just an amazing list to me. Right now, we've got Rico Dowdle and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I'll go through the rest of them.
I do have one
How many?
more. I got one more.
Oh, got one more.
An old Bronco favorite, Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams going for 135 yards and a tutty. Takes the number 2 spot.
I don't know the other two, so there's no more guesses for me.
No more guesses. In a losing effort, Breece Hall with the New York Jets comes in at the number 3 spot with 113 yards, 0 TDs, averaging 8.1. And the number 5, a guy that was just on your blind list that you just put up for me, Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon Judkins put up 110 yards on Sunday. So I just thought it was really, I mean, for all the names that we, the Jonathan Taylors, the big names, Baltimore, their big time running back. We'll see if he gets on pace. Just like all these names that you could think that could possibly be out there, right? Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, Breece Hall, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, and Quinshon Judkins are your 5 NFL rushing leaders so far in week 5. And the other thing about that, win, 2 losses. 3 wins, 2 losses when you have one of those running backs maybe, plowing the way, man. Plowing the way for us, we do have an amazing sponsor, and that's Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery Estate Gold at wholesale prices for over 34 years. But now they're just in northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, doing amazing shows. I usually say in your backyard, but we're on an all NFL show right now, so I don't know if you're in that area. Like I said, fantastic shows out on the road, getting you all taken care of. But that's not the only place that you can find Morgan Trinkets. You can now find them over on eBay. Check out Morgan Trinkets over on eBay. Been doing amazing over there on eBay with their brand new store, and also over on Etsy. Type in Morgan Trinkets Co. over on Etsy, and bam, you're there. You're checking out everything that Pearl has to offer over there. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. All major credit cards are accepted. Check out Morgan Trinkets today for your Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery Estate Gold at wholesale prices. Kenny, I don't know how you want to do this. I was thinking we'll just kick off with Thursday night football. 49ers Rams in an overtime game, man. That was a fun one to watch, man. Those two teams were going back and forth. You have Mac Jones, you have Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is actually the week 5 NFL leader as far as passing is concerned. Like I said, just a big time game. Yeah, fun game to watch. Anything that you took out of the 49ers and Rams?
I got to listen to most of it. I worked Thursday night, but what I took of it, I was like, if this game ends in a tie, I am going to lose my cool. I'm going to lose it, because this was another game. Just a couple weeks ago, we had a Sunday night game in the Packers Cowboys go to overtime in a tie. This game goes to overtime. 49ers get the best out of the Rams. An unfortunate fumble by Kyren Williams at the 1-yard line saved the day. Otherwise, the Rams might have pulled off this victory. But a coming out party for Kendrick Bourne, old teammate in New England with Mac Jones. They reunite and have a heck of a game and a connection over there. And hats off to Kyle Shanahan, doing one heck of a job, early contender for Coach of the Year with all their injuries, and they just keep winning.
Matt Stafford goes for 389 and 3 touchdowns, but Mac Jones not far behind him. He's right now 3rd in week 5 with 342 yards, 2 touchdowns. And like you said, that connection to Kendrick Bourne was something to watch. To be honest, I think a lot of people had written off Kendrick Bourne, and like you said, big coming out party for him. Vikings, Browns. Vikings edge out the Browns in a 21-17 victory yesterday. Like I said, just kind of going through this NFL, the Vikings were kind of, I don't know, I think that everyone thought they should be right there at the top, and at least they go out there and they get a win versus the Browns. What do you got to say about that game, Kenny?
Not much on that one. I worked overnight, so I was sleeping, but I did look at some highlights. But Carson Wentz gets his second win. Now, this JJ McCarthy injury is starting to worry me a little bit. This could be the team that goes out for a quarterback, and the Giants have two. Maybe Jameis Winston, maybe Russell Wilson. You need somebody there other than Carson Wentz, because this could have been 2 weeks in a row that the Vikings lose cross country, last week in Ireland and then this week against Cleveland. But they did enough. They beat the Browns. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat on their schedule. But if they don't want to fall too far down the line, they might need a little upgrade at quarterback. So let's see if something happens in the weeks to come. But other than that, Browns played close. Kayshawn Judkins is looking like a great pickup for the Browns. Dylan Gabriel got the start and did decent, but not enough to come away with the victory in the end.
Kenny, next one I'm going to hit here, buddy, is going to be your first on the Toasted segment, as we're going to slide into Cowboys versus Jets, man. What do you got? Who are you putting on here for as far as Toasted in the Cowboys versus Jets, as the Cowboys walk away with a victory 37-22? We already talked about Javonte Williams and his production there in Dallas. Who you toasting here, my friend?
Toasting the Jets offense as a whole. This game was not close. It was, I think, 26 or 27-3. And then the Jets finally started scoring a little bit. You're talking about the worst defense in football, the Cowboys. And they came out. And in New Jersey, we have a staple. It's called pork roll. It's a regional thing. And I think the Jets forgot to have their pork roll in the morning as for their breakfast, because they're supposed to defend their home field, and you're supposed to defend the regional favorite in pork roll, which nobody knew about. But Dallas took over the pork roll, and they took over the defense and won with the defense and offense in Javonte Williams. So, but I'm giving this defense for the Cowboys the first toasted, as they toasted the heck out of Justin Fields and that Jets lackluster offense. Besides, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall got some garbage yards, but besides Garrett Wilson, there's nobody that scares me in that offense.
And I'll be honest, I was probably higher on the Jets to start this season. I thought that they might have something moving off of Aaron Rodgers, bringing in a Justin Fields, but things seem to be reeling there in the other New York team as far as the Jets are concerned. It'll be interesting to see if they get burnt again next week or in the weeks coming. This might be another one, man. We talked about it a little bit, but just because we're AFC teams and we were ranking those AFC teams, but I'll slide right into your next toasted. It's right here, buddy. It's the next one that I have on the list, and that's the Raiders and the Colts. So talk about it, my friend.
Yeah. 40-6. The Colts defend their home field once again. And like a huge breakfast platter, buffet of options for Daniel Jones. He went with 3 eggs on a big cowboyish platter. 3 eggs, Jonathan Taylor, 3 touchdowns. Side of potatoes, you got your Amir Abdullah getting a side of potatoes touchdown. How about Michael Pittman and Taylor Warren, both with bacon and sausage? And then how about a side of coffee as well? Just a big buffet of options for Daniel Jones, and couple pieces of toasted bread. Anthony Richardson gets some garbage time as well. So just to add insult to injury, 40-6, Geno Smith looking really bad. I think it may be time for an early switch at quarterback. He is lining up interception after interception. At this point, you're 1-4. It might be time to make a change and see if you got something, with your backup situation over there. Geno looked really bad.
Roy Osborne's coming in saying Raiders 9 on
Yeah.
the toaster scale. I like that, man.
I
It's
like
like
that the scale. Yeah, the old toasters had the light or dark, so that's very close to the darkest. I love it, Roy.
yeah. Whoever puts their toaster on number 10 or the darkest and just walks away hoping for the best. I guess that's for when your heating elements in your toaster have about done had it, you know. I don't know. But he's got 9. Let's just it wasn't the next game that I was going to talk about, but we'll just leave toasted right up here, buddy. Um all of a sudden I lost my last toasted game. What was it?
Texans and
Yeah,
Ravens.
there you go. Texans Ravens. You're right.
Yeah,
Texas toasted. But
Texas
maybe I
toast.
took that away from you, buddy. I don't know. But go
No,
right ahead. Talk about the
actually,
Ravens because we should talk about the Ravens. What the heck? The
yeah.
Ravens.
I think
Go ahead.
Lamar is
Speak
too
about it.
worried about his 100-pound chain that he's wearing on the sidelines instead of going to Cooper Rush and trying to mentor him a little bit, and say, hey, you just see him on the sideline like laughing and goofing off with a huge 100-pound chain. But the Texans went hunting. They came into Baltimore and they were looking, Texans are hunters, and they came in and, they like to make their own cowboyish style breakfast, and they did. They went and hunted down some crow and ravens and had one heck of a feast in this game. And just watching the Ravens defense is not helping the offense out at all. This team is in a lot of trouble, and it may be time. They talk about Mike Tomlin. It may actually be time for John Harbaugh to move on. Just saying. To another, he would get another job soon, but it's not working out there right now in Baltimore. You may look at a coach on the hot seat later on in the season if he can't get this turned around. But a big feast for the Texans in a big way. Curious to see how they go moving forward because they got off to a slow start. And with the Colts and Jaguars ahead of them, they need to win, and they did in a big way.
Talk about it, man. I mean, the Texans were all but written off. What happened to the Texans and what's wrong with the Texans? And I know Lamar Jackson wasn't out there, at least on the football field, as you were pointing out, but still, I mean, this Baltimore team used to be a team that prided themselves in their defense. Beat the defense and the offense will figure out some way to, or go out there with the defense and dominate, and the offense will figure out some way to put up 9, 12 points, and walk away with a victory. That was the old Baltimore Ravens style, a 44-10 shellacking at home in Baltimore. That looks ugly for this defense. Forget about the offense. Forget about what's not working there as of right now. Maybe that changes. Maybe that turns around. But you can't give up 44 points and still expect to be in the game regardless. That defense, man, is reeling, and they got toasted by the Texans. And you nailed that one, buddy. We'll just finish out around the horn. We got about 15 minutes left and a few more games we need to talk about. Dolphins Panthers, man. I talked about it, man. The Dolphins are maybe one of the worst teams. I mean,
Very well.
We were talking about some of these other teams and wondering if maybe they were the worst, and then they maybe put up a victory this weekend. You got the Raiders, you got the Dolphins. I mean, there's some bad teams out there. Dolphins are reeling at this point, going down 27-24 to the Panthers, who are not scaring anybody right now as well, Canny.
No, and you're going to see on the Dolphin side of the ball, I don't know if he'll be fired during the season, but Mike McDaniel's going to definitely be a name on the hot seat. But some names, in my opinion, it's time. It's time, Dolphins. You're at that time. You're in the Bills division. You're not catching the Bills. It may be time to start looking to trade some of these veteran guys you have to get some draft picks for next year, because it may be time to move on from Tua as well. And two names I'm just going to give out to keep an eye out for. Bronco fans are going to know the first one. Bradley Chubb could be a trade option for a team going down the line. Mm-hmm. And a guy who came back big time yet last week, and he stepped up, Darren Waller. Teams need a tight end. Look for him to maybe get traded as well by the deadline. But Panthers, hats off to them. You mentioned Rico Dowdle, 206 yards.
Yeah.
They ran the ball down their throat and come away with their second win. Ted McMillan looking like a solid pickup for them in the first round in this year's draft. He's having a nice solid season with them. Nice connection with Bryce Young, and they get the win. And hats off to the Panthers because 2 out of 3 weeks they looked really good, and let's see if they can continue the momentum and get consecutive wins going forward.
Pearl's in agreement saying, I was just thinking that, Kenny. I was just thinking that myself. Kenny, a few different games left that we can hit. Here's a guy I never understood kind of the writing off of this particular player. And obviously the team that picked him up didn't understand it either. The Cleveland Browns gave up on Baker Mayfield in a time where it just didn't ever make sense to me. Had to take his little short stint through L.A., I guess it was, playing for the Rams. I just saw a recent replay of him coming in on, I think it was a Tuesday, and playing on Sunday or something like that, or coming in on Thursday. He came in on Thursday, played on Sunday. That's what it was for the Rams, and got him the victory. Ends up being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, and they just hit the lottery. I'm just going to put it that way. He goes out there, he has a fantastic game once again, does what he does the way he does it. Buccaneers beat the Seahawks at home yesterday in a thrilling game, a 38-35 game. Man, talk about that game.
Really thrilling game, back and forth. Buccaneers without Bucky Irving, without Michael Evans, do it on the road in one of the most hardest hostile environments in the NFL. This was my sleeper team to get to the Super Bowl in the NFC. It still is, because this team gets healthy going down the line if I had a dime for every time I was right with a prediction, I'd have $1. If I had a dime for every time I was wrong, I'd be a millionaire. But I was right on this guy so far, Emeka Egbuka. And I said, dark horse for Rookie of the Year. He's going to be the number one wide receiver, rookie wide receiver coming out of this year's draft. And I don't have his stats in front of me, Keith, but he's on my fantasy football team. And I think he had around 160 to 170 yards receiving yesterday. Just missed a second touchdown. I think he had one touchdown. Just missed a second one, getting tackled at the 2-yard line on a deep ball from Baker Mayfield, 50 yards in the air. This kid's been amazing. When Michael Evans comes back, Godwin's getting healthy. This is going to be a dangerous, dangerous team in the NFC. Watch out, Eagles. Watch out, Lions. Watch out, NFC. The Bucs are for real.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you talk about your friend Emeka Egbuka there. How about taking down the number one spot so far in week 5? 7 receptions, 163 yards, 23.3 yard average.
And just missed the second touchdown getting tackled. That lost his balance. The defender got him at the 2-yard line.
Yeah. 57-yard long, too, within that. So it wasn't just...
Yep.
I'm just saying, when you look at 163 yards, it wasn't like 2 80-yard bombs, and a bunch of nonsense. I mean, he's still getting it done on 7 receptions. Might not be that high as far as receptions are concerned, but 163 yards, 23.3 yard average, had the 57-yard long. Like you said, big time weapon for Baker down there. And Emeka Egbuka, like you said, good call out, buddy. Early contender for Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year. So run through these kind of quick. I guess we're coming up on time. Lions, Bengals continue to reel. Our good friend Carson, he's got to love his Lions taking home a victory, 37-24 over the Bengals. Anything you have to say on that game, my friend?
Lions did what they had to do. Browning, Bengals right now, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL without Joe Burrow there. Even with Joe Burrow, I don't think they're going to be a playoff contender. This could be a lost season for the Bengals.
Yeah, completely. Got to almost write the season off. Good for the Lions to go out there and get the win. Can't lose. Like, they want to be contenders. Can't lose a game like this. Took care of business. Probably a little bit tighter than they'd like. And at 37-24, I didn't watch how that game played out, but still, good victory for the Lions. The Bengals continue to reel. How about maybe the closest worst team of in the NFL matchup that maybe we had this Sunday? Titans versus Cardinals. It was a squeaker as the Titans get a victory and a 22-21 victory. What does it mean for the Titans? What does it mean for the Cardinals?
Good for the Titans. And you know what? Good for the NFL fans, because we got to see the 2 undefeated teams lose this week and the 2 winless teams get their first win this week. So there's no winless teams and there's no undefeated teams. But just when I'm starting to think the Cardinals can be a sleeper team, they throw in a huge clunker. They had every chance in the world to beat the Titans yesterday, and they go and lose at home to the winless, hapless Titans. And we've seen the Titans against the Broncos. We've seen the Titans in many weeks so far this year. And they got their first win. And hats off to them for going down to a team that was a contender in the NFC West and in the NFC in general, and went and knocked out a contender. So good for them getting their first win. Let's see if they can build off it.
2 games left, but yeah, I want to talk about, and then we'll get into our prediction for Monday Night Football. Fantastic game. Patriots-Bills. Drake May goes out there, gets a victory in Buffalo. AFC East all of a sudden seems a little bit more topsy-turvy, and some more questions coming out of there after this victory. What do you got to say about this game? As, like I said, Drake May gets the victory versus, the Buffalo Bills, who have a lot of high expectations this year.
Be excited, Patriot fans. Drake May's first national televised game on Sunday Night Football, and he went out and arguably beat the best team in football. A lot of people have the Bills listed as the best team in football. They've been in some dogfights and just haven't, good teams find ways to win. Finally caught up to them yesterday in a big way. And Drake May been noticed, New England has been noticed. They got a young team. I think this is going to be a team that is going to have some growing pains, but it's also going to come up with some big games like it did yesterday. And on the other side, I think Buffalo will overcome this loss. I think that they're fortunate that they have the Dolphins and Jets in their division. I think they'll be fine. And Josh Allen and the Bills will bounce back in a nice way next week.
Yeah, I mean, don't write them off, obviously, but great win within the division for the Patriots. Kind of makes you feel like you have an opportunity here. It'll be interesting to see how well the Patriots are able to put it together throughout the season. Like you said, very young team. But this win, kind of a big statement win for them. The Bills are reign supreme there in the AFC East, and the Patriots certainly weren't expected to go in there and walk away a victor. Kenny, I'd save this one for last. Commanders, Chargers has kind of implications for both of our teams, as you're a big Giants fan and I'm a big Broncos fan. The Commanders, though, come out and they're dominant in a 27-10 victory versus the Chargers. What's your perspective on this game, man?
I've been watching both of these teams very closely the last couple of weeks, start with the Commanders. If Jaden Daniel plays, they're an NFC title contender. If he doesn't, they're probably not going to win the game. It's that simple. Marcus Mariota, but Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin yesterday. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt takes over, the 7th-round pick. Whoever scouted him and drafted him, kudos to you. You deserve a raise. No Terry McLaurin there. They did what they needed to do on the ground. And on the other side of the ball, the Chargers don't want to get their star franchise quarterback hurt. They better go make a trade this week for an offensive lineman, because without Slater, without Becton, without Joe Alt, this team is in trouble. Von Miller was all over the field yesterday. I think he had 1.5 sacks. Fountain of Youth came back. I had a feeling Von Miller and that defense were going to get to Justin Herbert, and they did once again. Chargers are in trouble. Commanders are on the rise.
Yeah, injuries are starting to pile up for the Chargers. Amari Hampton actually goes out with an injury as well to his ankle. Now that's their they got both Amari and Hampton and Najee Harris out, like you said, and people are I think are starting to figure this Chargers team out. They started off hot, and to be honest, I was scared as heck about how far they would go, or possibly, the gap that they put between the Denver Broncos and themselves, and now it's skinning right back up. We're right there, and the AFC West is for the taking. It'll be interesting to see if the Chargers can somehow turn this around, especially in the midst of injuries. But they're going to have an uphill battle. As far as the Commanders, I mean, I love Jaden Daniels. Like you said, he's a guy that's out there. If he plays, you got a chance to win with the Commanders. It's a matter of whether he can keep himself healthy enough to stay on the field and how many games he's going to play. As he's a running quarterback. He's a scrambling quarterback, and he's still got some learning to do in this NFL. Kenny, we get to Monday Night Football, man. Big matchup here, as we were just talking about the AFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Big matchup for both of these teams. The Kansas City Chiefs 2-2. The Jaguars, like I said, 3-1. Kind of surprising a lot of teams out here. A lot of teams, a lot of fans, I think, as well. Off to a hot start. What do you see on Monday night as the Chiefs are on the road heading off to Jacksonville?
I see a team in the Chiefs that's getting some players back one by one, which is great for the Chiefs, but it also can hurt them a little bit because these guys are not ready. This is their first live action. They're all getting together. So there might be some, slow starts, some sloppy play from the Chiefs. And the Jaguars defense and they've been surprisingly well. The Jaguars defense has to take advantage of that. I am excited for the Jaguars to be on national TV. It's a team you don't get to see very often. And when they're playing well, it's even more fun to watch. So I'm excited to see Travis Hunter, the number 2 pick in the draft. I'm excited to see Trevor Lawrence maybe have a coming out party, hopefully against the Chiefs for our Bronco fans that are out there. I see the coming out party tonight. I see Travis Etienne having a nice game on the ground, leading the run. Watch out for Bashul Tutin coming out tonight too, having a couple plays. Speedster out of that Keith liked in the draft, coming out of Virginia Tech. Watch out for him as well. Liam Cohen getting a little creative, doing enough. Offensive side of the ball, Travis Hunter gets a touchdown. We're going to see Travis Hunter. We're going to be excited for him. I'm going to go Jaguars, national TV, just like the Patriots yesterday did it. This team doesn't get national recognition often. They're going to take advantage of it. 23-20 Jaguars. Let's go.
I'd like to see that. It's going to be an interesting matchup. The Jaguars, they've had some tight contested games. Tight loss versus the Bengals when they still had Joe Burrow. Week 2, I believe that was. Might have been, week 2. Beat up on the Texans, beat up on the Panthers. Close win versus the 49ers. That was their biggest battle. That was just last week. And I think when you go ahead and you kind of get battle tested like that, and then you come back against a Chiefs team, by the way, a Chiefs team that also had Xavier Worthy pop up on the injury list, with I believe an ankle as well as that shoulder. So we'll see how good he's able to go. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I think that this is for the taking for the Jaguars. And I loved I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan, but he's starting to put it together. It's taken longer than I think that most have expected. I think they go ahead and they take this game as well. Maybe it's just me hoping that the Chiefs continue to lose, but I haven't seen anything epic from the Chiefs, and I see a Jaguars team that wants to go out there and get this victory. I think that they're going to be hungry tonight. I'm going to go ahead and give a 24-14 victory to the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight. Had another prediction coming in from Pearl, 24-21 as far as she's concerned. So victories for the Jags around the board so far. Got Clayton coming in last minute saying, hey guys, smash that like and share button. And Victory Monday for our Denver Broncos. Wear those colors proudly this week, Broncos country. That's what he's saying. Ousting. Way to maybe just a
Probably the autocorrect got him. Great way to start the week.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Fantastic way. Maybe that's what it is. Fantastic way to start the week. Fantastic way to start the week. Always with all of you in here chatting with us on a Monday morning on the Morning Juice. Kenny, we're right at an hour, man. We did pretty dang well, but at the same time, we got to get some final thoughts, maybe some goodbyes in before we go a week before we see everybody on the Morning Juice again next week.
A great way to start the week for those Bronco fans out there. Enjoy tonight's game. Let's see if we can continue and get a Jaguar win for those. But great week in the NFL in general. You're looking forward to the week ahead. Thursday night, football should be a good one. Eagles, Giants, tonight, of course. And from the other flip side of it, enjoy for those baseball fans. Enjoy the baseball. Playoffs that are here now. So some middle of the week stuff. Keith and Jody will be back Wednesday, Denver Bronco Roundup. I'll be with you guys next week, Morning Juice. And like I always do, let's juice it up one more time. Apple cranberry my way, whatever everybody else is drinking, juice it up.
Mm-hmm. Lion coffee only for me, man. I got to get my coffee, my caffeine going. If not, I don't know if I'd be able to do this, man. No, I'm always typically pumped up, ready to go when the Denver Broncos walk away with a victory like we did last week. Kenny, good luck to your Giants moving forward. I want to come in here, like I said, both of us with victories and start to continue to celebrate on the Morning Juice. And if you like the Morning Juice, we go live every Monday, 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. We do have a couple other shows that you should check out if you're Broncos fans. Denver Bronco Roundup goes live 7 p.m. Wednesday and Friday, Mountain Standard Time. Check us out then. And then we go post-game reaction every single Denver Bronco, win or loss. Check us out right after the game as well. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. If you're looking for us, you'll find us. Just go out there. Take a look. But hey, congratulations to those teams in week 5 that took home victories. Good luck to your teams moving forward. We'll be breaking down whether you've been toasted or whether you're the fresh squeeze of the week every single week right here on the Morning Juice. But we're going to get out of here. Y'all have a fantastic week. Kenny, you have a fantastic week. And can't wait to see everybody next week. This has been Morning Juice. Take care, everybody.